Hello, Zemalf here, and welcome to my second Marvel Midnight Suns reaction and analysis. And this is the long version, so I'm watching the live premiere of the Hunter and Wolverine versus Sabretooth. And this should give us more information about the combat system of the game. So let's see what we have here. I have no idea. Say I'm watching this 100% live. And after we watch this together, I will do a slow-paced analysis of the video. I assume they will release this as a standalone video as well. So then I will react to that. But let's see, the live just begun. So I will edit the possible waiting time here and see when the actual gameplay begins. There is no countdown, so I assume it will happen right away. Oh, well, there's the countdown. Alright, I guess no editing. Let's go. Show me the combat system. Come on. Okay, it is time. It is time to learn some more about this game.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our first gameplay livestream of Marvel's Midnight Suns. My name is Caroline Guevara, producer and your host for today. I am joined by two very special guests. Jake Solomon, our creative director.
Very happy to be here. Very happy to finally play the game.
Hey, Jake.
Of course. And of course, Garth Angeles, our franchise producer.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here as well.
Awesome. Well, thank
Hi,
you
Garth.
so much for joining us. If you haven't followed us on social media yet, please do so on Twitter and Instagram. Again, that is Marvel's Midnight Suns. Give us a follow so you can be up to date for the latest and greatest. And also, if you want a very exclusive skin for Blade or Night Stalker skin, definitely sign up for our newsletter.
Into some pretty incredible stuff, Caroline and Jake.
All right.
Which we are ecstatic to show the world.
Yeah. Finally happy to just be able to play the game.
You know, it's been a while, and you know,
I like the comic books in the background.
Watching the trailer, watching the gameplay assets that came out, it's been incredibly invigorating for the team to see the reaction from the community. It really does energize us. We are going to be finishing the game.
I'll change the camera angle, although my camera placement as needed. I think the other corner will be better. But
your feedback already, very important to us.
Yep. For sure.
And one piece we definitely wanted to touch on was the fact that this game is a premium title, an enormous single-player game that is brimming with content, and we're not going to have gameplay microtransactions.
No. I understand why people would think that, but no. Every ability that your heroes can have, they're in the game. You only earn them by playing with the heroes you love. There are no gameplay microtransactions. So put that to rest. Let's just play the game.
How did someone get understanding that there would be microtransactions in the game? Okay, I guess that was a joke.
You and I used to play another game.
We did.
We're not quite in Kansas anymore, are we? This looks a little bit different.
So you're in control of the Hunter, moving her in real time there. You're at the Abbey, which is an entirely new superhero headquarters that we created with Marvel. Every cool superhero team has to have a cool superhero headquarters. This is ours. We're just showing the exterior. We're going to show more of the Abbey and
suddenly Blade and Doctor Strange.
We're really showing off combat. So we've got a couple of our squad mates here. We're going to head into combat. This is our Hunter. We've talked about how customizable they are. They can look very different from this. We're walking by one of the other characters.
We will get a better quality footage when I check the video. It seems that the live stream they are using has a little bit of artifacts in them.
Tower, X-Men, and the X-Mansion. Now having your own base is such a staple that I think you need to do in a Marvel game. It's something that hasn't been done before. You now have your own.
Yes, and ours, that's a big part of the game, is how it comes alive, how you live with these heroes, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And so now what we've done is crossed over into this sort of interdimensional space we call Limbo. So magic opens portals, you walk through Limbo, and you get to your next.
Speak to Ghost Rider.
Kind of one of her powers,
new combat item available.
Well,
Awesome. So we're gonna just dive right into combat then.
Yes.
All right,
We're gonna
let's
play
do
some
it.
combat.
Defeat
We are
enemy
gonna play
agents.
some combat, and again, you know, we are a tactics team through and through. I'm so proud of the designers we have here and the folks that work with Jake and the creative systems designers. But we've made something that you have not quite seen before when it comes to a tactics game. There's so much when it comes to the visual element of this, characters and how they're going to move and the superhero flair that you're going to see. But first, we wanted to slow down before we start playing this thing fast.
Let's
and
talk.
talk about what the mechanics
Let's talk
are
about the
right?
abilities, right? Because, as you may have heard, the hero's abilities, they're dealt to you at the start of combat, and like a hand of cards.
Like
Yeah,
hand
of course.
Cards.
Yeah.
A timeless game mechanic, by the way, right, Jake?
What could be controversial about cards? Nothing, I assume. However, in case it is, I would understand why people say, what? That's very different from anything we've done before. It doesn't actually, I want to make sure that people understand it doesn't play that different than things we've done before. But as Garth is playing, I'm going to explain how this whole system works. And the idea is that every character has their own abilities that the player is in charge of. So they can assign whatever abilities they want to Blade, to Doctor Strange, to the Hunter. They bring all those abilities into combat, and there aren't that many of them. So you're going to see all those abilities come up. But they're dealt to you as a hand of cards.
And there's some really cool card categories too, right?
Yes. So there's 3 different types of abilities that are really important. There's an attack, which Garth just did there. One of the benefits of abilities, treating them as a card, is we can put like really interesting effects on them. So we have tons of them. It's another benefit is we can make so many different abilities. We can give them interesting effects. One is an attack, which Garth showed off there with Blade. The next is a skill, which he just used with Doctor Strange. And that is the sort of thing that is a little more, could buff your allies, could be defensive. There are different ways to use it. But ultimately, the important thing is that by playing attacks, by playing skills, you're building up a resource that we call heroism. You can see this in the bottom right. That's...
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, it's a simple... the game all rotates around heroism, right? And so you build up heroism, and you use that to then use the third type of ability, which is called heroic.
They are your most powerful attacks. They can have devastating impacts on the enemies, and that's what we're working towards right here. Now, I have a few other plays. Before I use Doctor Strange's heroic, I'm going to use one of the Hunter's attacks to build up more heroism.
That gives +1 heroism.
So right now, the Hunter's in a great position to fire off this ability. Yeah, knock an enemy into another enemy. But you can also discreetly move your characters around the battlefield, and you'll have to be able to use different abilities or different effects.
So you can move. So it's not just...
you're fine. I was going to say, like, it seems like you have a lot of flexibility.
Well, of course, because you have to aim your abilities.
Yeah, you do. I mean, the idea is that the game is meant to move pretty fast. It's still very deep. I love that ability.
That right.
He just KO'd that person. By the way, he buried an axe in their head and then
Out of card place.
Gentle KO. Okay.
Knocked out. Right?
After a few hours.
Yeah, fine.
But also, I mean, you saw that heroic ability. Our art team and our content team and all the disciplines that have worked on it, they have created these abilities that are in your face, incredibly satisfying to watch over and over, and the payoff.
Yeah, they've really pushed the presentation of the abilities, and it's amazing to see. There are a lot of deep elements to combat here, and part of that is how different the heroes play. So we have a number of different abilities here, and in fact, actually, Garth, you can talk about what you're about to do here.
Yeah, we're going to use a special skill from the Hunter, which is going to chain on and allow us to use a very, very powerful card in our deck. So Inspire allows you to play a heroic or a card that costs heroism for free. So that's what we're going to do with Hunter, and that's going to lead into this powerful ability.
Yeah, and so the hero combo, again, a big attack. The way that you unlock these abilities is actually through the Abbey. So we talk about how the relationships that you have with these heroes, and this, it's very awesome and very powerful.
Okay, so this was basically a combo between Doctor Strange and the Hunter.
With the heroes involved.
Last man standing.
Oh, here we go. Ooh, Blade. Gotta go with Blade.
I mean, of course.
So again, that's an encounter. You know, they play very, very fast.
Why is it that for every one of these sites we take out, it seems like 2 more appear in their place?
Patience. Hydra certainly lives up to their name.
I've hunted an actual Hydra. That was easier.
Easier than this.
Oh, there's the Sabretooth now.
I live up to my name, too.
What? Second best
Crossbones put on
at
your
what he
head.
does?
Runt. Too bad he never said it had to stay attached to your body. Well, too bad for you. Big words. For a dead man.
Best there is at what he
One
does.
thing right today, Sabretooth. Heads are definitely about to roll.
Oh, look. Another mangy stray.
You smell wrong.
Compared to him?
Good point.
Is this introduction to the Wolverine?
Now I get to kill
In the game?
2 runts with 1 claw. Maybe I should be paying Hydra.
Okay,
Hey guys,
here
I
we go.
would be lying if I would say I'm not excited about this very iconic duo, this battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine.
Yeah, and as you saw there, just one of the cinematics. We have hours of cinematics in the game. Obviously, we're telling a very deep story, and part of that story, of course, is introducing these villains. And this is the first villain we've shown, but we have a large cast of characters, not just heroes. We've got, again, as I said, 12 Marvel heroes plus the Hunter. We also have a large cast of villains for the player to fight against. It's what makes Lilith so powerful. So again, she's the ultimate enemy. The thing that's cool about her, if you imagine the most dangerous people in the Marvel universe, she's equally dangerous because she can corrupt people with a single touch. So not only you fight villains, like
There was only one.
but you'll fight
There was only one
false
move from
followers.
Sabretooth.
Lilith has corrupted villains. She's corrupted even heroes that the player's gonna have to fight against over the course of the game. So
Oh,
very deep
did that-
narrative. A lot of narrative comes out, not just
okay.
through
There was
cinematics,
there
but
was
also through
movement,
appearance.
even that we were out of card
And
place.
now we're fighting against Sabretooth, and yes, you're right. This is an iconic matchup, right? Wolvie, the best at what he does.
Okay, that was
Sabretooth,
pretty cool. I think that action was played.
He's deadly. Like Sabretooth is
That
a
action
very
was played
deadly
without
character, and
cards.
So you're gonna have to require your entire team
Kicking
to
or
take him
pushing
out.
that
All of our villains
pushing
have
that card.
a bunch of unique abilities and also a unique flair to them. Sabretooth, the idea behind Sabretooth is that he has an ability called Frenzy, and that means that every time you take an action, he may respond, right? So you have to be
Oh,
really
that's
careful.
cool.
You have to be very efficient in what you do.
Interesting.
Because Sabretooth responds very quickly. So
Got
we can
it.
take 2 actions, then he's going to fight back.
So you have to anticipate when he goes on that.
I
frenzy
like
active.
this use of
For
environment.
now.
I like it a
I mean,
lot.
I love Sabretooth. We've introduced, here we're introducing Wolverine for the first time. This is where you meet him. This is pretty far into the game, probably. I mean, actually, this game's very long, so not that far, but this is a good 10, 12 hours into the game when you meet Wolverine and you unlock him. So there are characters you unlock through play. This is the moment when you sort of meet Wolverine for the first time.
They're being
And so,
reinforced.
again, Wolverine, a completely different playstyle, completely unique set of abilities.
Can you go into his abilities a little bit more? Like what makes him so
I have
unique
to-
and different from the other characters?
I have to listen to
So
that
if you
again.
think about
Did
Wolverine,
Jake say
it's-
that the
he's
game
very
is not
savage.
that long?
He has the ability
Or did
to
he say
attack
that the game
multiple
is
targets.
long?
So he has what we call chain. He has a lot of ability that chain to multiple targets. And at the same time, he can taunt enemies. And that means that he can draw their fire. When he attacks them, then enemies target Wolverine after that. And that's great because Wolverine has the ability to regenerate health. He's very low on health here. Garth, you doing okay, bud?
Let's use a little berserk. I'm gonna get some life steal on there if you want to mention that.
Well, that's
Their hit
I
point is
believe
awfully
you,
low.
Clark. Like, you can do this.
fine. As you
Are we
can
losing
see,
this fight?
Sabretooth, huge health bar.
Heavy hitter. Definitely
Yes,
heavy hitter.
definitely a heavy hitter. And so that's good. Wolverine has got some lifesteal going on and sent that guy to the moon. But yeah, this is the problem with Sabretooth, right? Is that he just doesn't stop. And this matches how he is in the comics as well. Like Sabretooth doesn't stop,
Yep.
Okay, I think
So you
Sabretooth has that
always gotta
frenzy
be on your toes
ability.
here.
That makes him do
What are we doing,
moves
guys?
all the time.
We got him.
We got him. Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm actually going to.
There is like intern, but then there's no like intern.
Right.
Like
One thing that's worth pointing out is that as you move, you can continue to move until you use an ability, right? And so you can position yourself just perfectly. Until you use an ability, you can continue to move around.
Oh, that's interesting. So you don't have.
Is one of my favorite parts.
You don't have like limited moves. You move, then you use ability.
It's a wonderful balance of you can choose to play more methodically and find that single precise movement position to take advantage of the enemies, but it's not every single turn. Every single.
Oh, we won.
Make that decision.
Heal. Have to keep going.
Oh, now probably it's a demon lady comes and takes Sabretooth on her side.
You'll do.
All right, so we saw a lot of good gameplay, a lot of good ability. It's just like amazing gameplay, of course. But this isn't just it, right, Garth? There's still a whole nother section to it.
There's a whole other section. It is enormous. It is incredibly exciting. Again, we love tactics games, and changing what we did with the tactics design there wasn't enough. We wanted a whole other half of the game that was the RPG part of the tactics RPG. So we're going back to the Abbey now, and we're going to show you guys a little bit of a gameplay tease with what you can do within the Abbey.
All
and we're
right.
going to start in the Hunter's Quarters.
All right, let's do it.
You can do an enormous amount. Obviously, after a hard day's work, you want to go back to your place of refuge.
Right, you're wearing casual clothes, right? Many outfits. We actually have a lot of outfits that.
And look at this room. It looks like some decorating could be done. Can you do decorating?
Joan, yeah, you gotta update your room, and yeah, there's ways to update not just the character, the room as well.
And you can pet the Hellhound.
Of course, Charlie.
Right, your beloved Hellhound Charlie, who loves you so much. You can, of course, pet the dog, and there's a lot of benefits to that as well.
Are we going to be able to explore that a little bit more?
We are, and in
There's
fact,
benefits in
what's
petting the
happening right
dog?
now
What?
is the hunter walking onto the common room after combat, and so again, this is really a social experience where after combat, all these heroes are hanging out, and you can choose from different heroes after combat to hang out with, and this is an important part of building a relationship.
It is. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. Not only do you have fun in combat, you come back, and you have a very, very important choice to make, which is a whole other part of the Marvel fantasy, right? It's not just battling amongst these heroes, it's who do you want to hang out with, Mika Maruno or Iron Man, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of benefit to this, right? There's not just a narrative benefit as they commiserate over their terrible parents. Oh, my dad's not watching, because I can commiserate with them as well. But yeah, then in addition to hanging out with heroes, you obviously get to have a deeper experience talking to different characters around the Abbey. We're kind of alluding here, like your dialogue choices can affect the Hunter's balance as well.
I mean, it's an RPG. There's branching dialogue choices here.
Right.
You mentioned the light-dark balance. The role-playing portion of how you want to craft your hunter and their personality is incredibly compelling. And you'll be able to do that in spades in the Abbey. Uh-oh, what are we doing here, Caroline? You love the dog?
I do.
Can you walk your dog?
I mean, it looks like it.
Dog can walk with you.
The dog's walking, leading me somewhere special. Okay, where are we going?
So, this is just one of the many things that happens on the Abbey grounds. So the Abbey grounds are very extensive, which you can explore, and you should. And this is a lot of really interesting optional content that the player can come out here, explore the grounds, uncover a lot more narrative, a lot more gameplay. And so, again, we wanted this to feel like a living space. And so it's not just the interior of the Abbey. it's the exterior grounds as well that feel, you know, appropriately supernatural based on our
again, you think of the world.
What worries me about this a bit is that you have to do this to unlock the abilities, which is a lot of fun for a single playthrough, but how replayable this game will be with these elements in it. So obviously you have to pet and help the dog, and then the dog will lead you somewhere, and it will be fun to find these things out the first time you are playing. But then on this,
well, there you have it, guys. We have a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of Abby, a lot of combat that's coming up as well. What's coming up, guys, in October, coming months?
A lot. So we want to dive deep on some of the characters, like start to show more about these characters, and then show more gameplay. We just hinted at it with the combat and the Abby, so we want to show more of that in the coming months.
Awesome. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's looking forward to it. Thank you so much, guys, both Jake and Garth, for joining us today and showing our fans, of course, like Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yes, we are very happy to finally be putting the game.
Yeah, so it's incredibly exciting. Thank you all. Thanks for being with us.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, thank you, guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure to follow us on social media. Again, that is Marvel's Midnight Suns on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to give us a follow. Also, sign up for our newsletter for the very exclusive Night Stalker Blade skin. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to sharing more.
okay, will we get a full video here on the end, or? Okay, that was very nice. I checked my first video. I wanted to be quiet on that first time, this time around, so just get the information in.
Get you hyped. Yes. Don't do that. Come on.
No, but we need the hypeness, of course. Like,
come on.
I'm sorry, I get excited. I get very excited.
Alright, was that it? Yeah, I think that was it. Alright, so as said, I watched my first video, got some comments in there. So I wanted to stay quiet for that part. Just take the things in instead of talking over it on the first time. But now I'm hoping that video will be available as a separate one, or maybe they just have that. Maybe they just have the gameplay part in higher quality. That was kind of live, but was it really live? You know, got a kind of that kind of thing. But let's see if I can find it here, and we'll watch that together. So just a second. Alright, and we are back. And I am watching the same thing, but this time not live. So I will watch it first from the beginning. I will actually focus mostly on the combat part, so we don't have to listen to
gameplay live stream of Marvel's Midnight Suns.
We don't have to listen to Caroline and Jake anymore, and I think was it Franz?
Jake Solomon, our creative director.
Very happy to be here. Very happy to finally play the game for people.
Of course. And of course, Garth DeAngelis, our franchise producer.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Garth.
Awesome.
He was franchise producer. Okay, but yeah, let's jump forward here.
We did.
And we're not quite in Kansas anymore, are we?
No.
And I will put the volume a little bit down here, so I'll pause when needed. Just checking that okay, the space bar works there, so we don't have to look at the time bar at all times. So the Abby obviously looks great, as I said in the live reaction. I like this part. It will be interesting to play once, but then I'm a little bit worried that is it something that you you have to do. So basically that you have to talk to certain people enough times, and hey, magic is there. You have to talk to them enough times, and then you unlock something. You have to pet the dog to make the dog take you somewhere. And that will be a whole lot of fun for the first playthrough to kind of figure those out and unlock things, and that's always fun. But it feels a little bit kind of, is it a way? Is it only to kind of as an extra, or does it actually take the plot forward? Kind of I don't know. Kind of basically that's is all of those things optional, or kind of do you have to do it, that you have to unlock those abilities and such by doing that? Anyway, okay, that was interesting. I'm not sure, will it actually be exactly like this, that you go to the portal and you start a fight. You start a fight right away. That will be interesting to see. Okay, just quickly pausing here. There was quite a lot of combat in this one, so not that much need for the pausing. We picked up a lot of things from the first video. Thank you so much for all the comments. There was some very good comments that I didn't think about. For example, these symbols on top of the enemies. I am quite certain they are actually showing who the enemy has aggro on. So these two Hydra soldiers here have aggro on Doctor Strange, whose symbol is here. And these two here have aggro on the Hunter, because they have the symbol here. And I think this guy then is aiming at Blade. And it was very interesting what they said later, that you can move freely in the combat field. Is there any limit in that? So could you basically just like do an ability and then move yourself in that corner and shoot through all of these guys or something? Or is there kind of do you have a range? Do you have a range that you can move on, and then with your one move, you can set yourself in that position, and then you kind of declare that my move is done, and then you use ability. That's the understanding I got, which is actually, I kind of like that. There's obviously a whole lot of tactical elements with the environment. They are showing that a lot. Not only with the cards and the knockdowns, but when we get to the Wolverine fight, Wolverine was using those things without playing cards. That was the curious thing. We'll look at that when we get there. But let's just go forward here a bit and see how these things play out. So basically, with the cards, you have the number if it requires heroism. I think some of the cards, they were showing kind of symbol in the bottom left, like +1 or +2. So I think how it works is that by playing some cards, you generate the heroism, and then you play it in the other cards. And then we also saw that inspire ability. That was okay. So there we saw +1, +2.
Right. What could be controversial about cards? Nothing. I assume. However,
there's the +1, so that generates the heroism, and then I guess it's still like it's some sort of base damage or something to play that is shown on the card, and you have specific cards for the heroes.
Every character has their own abilities that the player is in charge of, so they can assign whatever abilities they want. How this whole system works, and the idea is that every character has their own abilities that the player is in charge of, so they can assign whatever abilities they want to Blade, to Doctor Strange, to the Hunter. They bring all those abilities into combat, and there aren't that many of them, so you're going to see.
That's interesting. Jake is saying that there's not that many of them.
All those abilities come up, but they're dealt
so,
as a hand of cards. And
I guess he means that we don't have to be afraid of not being able to use some abilities. I don't know.
One of the benefits of abilities, treating them as a card, is we can put like really interesting effects on them. So we have tons of another benefit.
I can kind of see how this card mechanic kind of instead of having a set of actions: move, shoot, throw a grenade, and things like that. Like for example, we see in XCOM. Instead, that selection of actions you have in addition to the move is randomized, and I'm okay with that. I like that. I like that.
By playing attacks, by playing skills,
but it's obviously like very the game is the
What's that?
the deck building, the random card draw. That is the beef of this game. And if it's fun, then the game is fun. And it looks like that you don't have the randomness in the targeting, so if you use ability, it hits. So basically, instead of having the legendary 95% accuracy, instead you have the randomness on how you draw your cards. And you can affect that how you build your deck. So if you like some ability on, say, Blade, you just put maximum amount of those cards in the deck, and then you have a higher odds of drawing that.
Oh no, you're
that's
fine.
That's cool.
I was gonna say, like, it seems like you have a lot of flexibility and freedom how you choose to play, like with your heroes.
When the Hunter used the knockdown there, I was sure they would use some sort of AoE with the Doctor Strange, but then it just hits one guy. I was like, wait, they had such an opportunity to show a little bit of tactics there, like grouping up the enemies into a smaller circle, so that you can then actually use an ability that has a little bit of limited range. That's how I would have done it.
Incredibly satisfying to watch over and over, and the payoff.
Yeah, they've really pushed the. Like,
and yeah, these are obviously like you have these heroic abilities that then you have cinematics, which from the other games like Final Fantasies and such, they are kind of they are nice for the first 10 times, but then you go to the options and you disable them.
Very, very powerful card in our deck. So Inspire.
Let's see. Maybe in this game they are like quick enough that they don't bother you so much that you go and disable them. That's how it is. At least for me. Like you have the cool cinematics for your super abilities, but it's in the end. Of course, if this is as fast paced as they say it is.
Relationships that you have with these heroes, and this.
Okay, they are talking about the relationships. I was saying that if the combat is as fast as it looks like it is, kind of that you will go like boom, 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 heroic ability, combat over, then of course it's kind of the nice finale for your for the fight to unleash all that heroism you built up during the fight, and then finish the remaining opponents off. So of course that's cool, and because there's a lot of heroes. They have a lot of those different abilities. It's fun to see. But okay, we see here that
that's what we're gonna do. Hunter.
We played the Inspire. That doesn't increase heroism, but it does change the cost of a random heroic card to 0. Even that we only have one heroism. We will be able to play a card called Hero Combo. I've actually first thought that this card kind of triggered the combo, but it actually just it triggers the cost of that card, which is combo.
Very, very powerful card in our deck. So Inspire allows you to play.
But here's an interesting thing about that about this one. So is this a specific combo for Doctor Strange and the Hunter, or let's say if we are playing with Blade and Wolverine, would this hero combo be kind of unusable because it is a card for Hunter and Doctor Strange, or would this change into a kind of you basically target the hero you played with? So we are playing this with the Hunter. So are we targeting Doctor Strange to combo together? I probably prefer the latter, so that we could use this card no matter who or what combo of heroes we are playing.
So again, a big attack. The way that you unlock these abilities is actually through the Abbey. So we talk about how the relationships that you have with these heroes, and this, it's very awesome and very powerful. You unlock these super powerful attacks by forming a relationship with the heroes involved.
That's amazing.
These abilities are nice. Again, kind of unlocking those abilities by talking to them in the Abbey. I think they have to be a little bit careful with that, so that it's fun and doesn't feel like a chore. And so that basically you unlock something relatively fast, so that it is not like, as someone put in the comments of my first video, or was it on Discord, that hopefully it's not that you have to go and walk with Tony Stark every day and then you unlock something when you have taken walks with Tony for 10 days or something similar. So hopefully it's kind of they keep it fun. Of course, the dialogue and such, that plays a big part. But again, that's this might be a game that you only want to play once. Maybe it's fun to play it once and then you don't want to replay it. But I'm always thinking about games like this, a tactical fighter game like these games are made to play multiple times. Maybe you play on a lower difficulty on the first time, or like me, you go for the hardest one and then you lose and you play it again. So it's really important for me in these games that they are replayable, and I'm a little bit worried about that, unlocking the abilities in the Abbey, if they don't do that right.
Oh, here we go.
Because if it is a chore, that basically, okay, let's go talk to Blade to unlock that ability, and then you talk, and okay, let's practice swordplay with Blade to unlock that ability, and let's go walk with Tony Stark to have Iron Man get this ability, and so on.
I live up to my name too.
Okay, so this is so cool. Second best there is what's hot. Second best there is at what he does, and then we get Wolverine best. I like that. That's very much the kind of Marvel humor I like.
Never said it had to stay attached to your body. Well, too bad for you.
Big words for a dead man.
Best there is, but at what he does. Okay, it's kind of a, well, of course they want to show this kind of a cool moment. Yes, they're revealing things, but this would have been a cool thing to also kind of experience for the first time in game. But
Sabretooth. Heads are definitely.
I liked the graphics are very XCOM. The graphics are very XCOM. So they basically have their Firaxis games has their engine, and then they modified the gameplay. But as far as graphics go, as far as they're like producing the character models, textures, and such, that they have the same pipeline, and it's actually looking pretty decent. I like it. That looks like leather. There's a nice texture there, and even on this video where it actually suffers a little bit, because this video I'm watching is encoded, and the video you are watching now with me in it's encoded, so the graphics suffer quite a bit from that.
Oh, look, another mangy stray.
Okay, but this fight was pretty interesting with because obviously we have these super villains.
Compared to him,
They play very differently from the normal enemies. I was a little bit confused on how the turn structure worked. So was it actually this frenzy ability? Was it actually this frenzy ability that made Sabretooth to take turns every time we did something?
If I would say I'm not excited about this
Okay, this is also interesting. So we are here only with the Hunter and the Wolverine. I guess Blade and Doctor Strange already got through the portal, and that's the kind of the introduction that you get to the Wolverine. This also tells me that when you begin the game, you create your own character, the Hunter, but then other characters are introduced as you play, which is again, I'm not sure what I think about that, because I would like to play with Wolverine from the beginning, but instead I have to play through a little bit and then I get Wolverine. But then I'm stuck with whatever heroes you have in the beginning of the game. Well, I guess at least Doctor Strange played. We saw Magic there. So kind of what heroes do we begin with? And obviously, because they are talking about cinematics and such, it is not random, and you probably can't even choose what heroes you get or what heroes you start with, because Wolverine is introduced mid-game.
Iconic.
But we see Wolverine's abilities here, chain swipes. We see that many times. We have the Berserk. We have with the Hunter here, we have abilities Fortify and Slash. Since you can build the Hunter the way you want, I think this is just one option of what you do. And so I'm paying more attention to Wolverine's abilities than for the Hunter, because I might create a totally different Hunter from what they are playing in here with. So also one thing we see here that I believe this okay, actually that is something, so that they are still called hit points, even that the heroes can't die. You just lose the fight. I don't know, in the fights like this, is this something that you will have to retry the fight and then win it or something? I don't know. But also the hit points carry over, or it seems that they carry over from the first phase. Or maybe this is from Sabretooth attacking the Hunter during the cutscene. I don't know.
This battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine.
That marker there probably shows where we are moving with the Hunter. And also this is interesting. We have Hunter's turn. Or how does this work? Like I just wonder that could we here on this turn select to play with the Wolverine, because we are showing Hunter here. So is this Hunter's turn or is it our turn? Like both, we can change through all the characters. But also on the Hunter activated, it seemed that we could still play Wolverine's cards.
Cinematics in the game. Obviously, we're telling a very deep story. And
this knockback mechanic is obviously big in this game.
Part of that story, of course, is introducing these villains. This is the first villain we've
and kind of identifying
of characters, not just heroes.
Okay, here we. Okay, so right. You probably don't specifically select which hero you are, which character, which hero you are playing with. You select an action. From these, but it also gets very interesting when we get to the part where Wolverine was doing things, from what I saw, like without playing cards. So was that actually some special for this particular fight, or was that
again, as I said,
was that done with just a move ability?
Villain for the player to fight against. It's what makes it a little.
Okay, so this is interesting. We I think if I saw that right. When we are playing with Wolverine here, we still have card plays left, but Sabretooth reacts. So I think it is that Sabretooth is fast, so Sabretooth has that frenzy ability that we see the clock there with. So then I think it is in a way that Sabretooth, the frenzy ticks down, and Sabretooth takes action after the frenzy goes to 0 and then it resets itself. Because it is obviously still our turn, but then Sabretooth interrupts you with the frenzy.
So powerful. So again, she's the ultimate enemy.
And also, not everything is destructible, because obviously this thing would have moved or broken down from that attack. So there's like the special environment bits that actually do get destroyed.
People in the Marvel universe, she's equally dangerous.
Okay, we somehow gained heroism here. I'm not sure. Okay, it was actually from the. I think it was from the cards we played on the first turn. So we gained heroism here, and again the frenzy is ticking down. So I think kind of these normal enemies, they are targeting Wolverine. For some reason Sabretooth is not attacking anything, or it's not revealed to us. And also we see this cards or whatever this is highlighted, so we know that that's an interactable object.
She can corrupt people with a single touch. So not only will you fight villains like Sabretooth here, but you'll fight what we call fallen, where Lilith has corrupted villains, she's corrupted even heroes that the player's gonna have to fight against.
Okay, this is okay, so this it was like I thought it was. So we played a card to do the chain strikes, but then we actually use, because we don't have card plays, but we still have move. So here we use the move ability to actually use the environment, which is to push the cards. So that is interesting. That's kind of, you can use your moves as attacks using the environment.
Over the course of the game. So yeah, very deep narrative. A lot of narrative comes out, not just through cinematics, but also you'll experience in-game.
Oh, but that is using the hero. Okay, now I'm super confused. So kind of we do a move here.
A lot of narrative.
But what is this? Is this still? Are we still doing a move? Or is this just that we have heroism and we can do stuff with heroism?
Comes out not just
because it shows a cost here when we select that, and the cursor there seems to be what you select move with. But when selecting this this one, it shows a cost in there.
But also you'll experience in-game as well.
And it looks like we will have a little bit of targeting there. That reminds me of trying to throw a grenade in XCOM, trying to get it in just the right spots.
Fighting.
But as I was looking at it, also very much reminds me of some abilities in Divinity Original Sin 2 or something. Okay, so it's
in-game as well.
Okay, it is. What I'm trying to look is that kind of how does it highlight the different enemies when they are targeted? Or do we just have to? Okay, I think the edge of Sabretooth is changing. Oh yeah, it is. Right. Sometimes it takes me long to pick things up, but okay, it's kind of highlighting them, but it's most obvious that these health bars are zoomed when you have them targeted.
And now we're fighting against.
So here first, okay, I'm using way too much on this one bit, but
also you'll
right. Okay.
As well.
So first we didn't have that guy targeted, and it wasn't zoomed in, and now we do.
Sabretooth, and yes, you're right. This is an iconic matchup, right?
Wait, it hit the third guy as well. Did you change the target in the end?
Right. Just through cinematics, but also.
Yeah, aiming.
Experience in.
Okay, so he finds a spot where all of them are targeted, hit bars are large, and then you have to hold it very steady and press the action.
Well, and now we're fighting against
Sabretooth,
and yes, you're right, this is an iconic.
I'm not sure how pixel perfect that was, but it seemed that health bar was not zoomed in the end.
You know,
okay, so that was one of our turns. So is this now Sabretooth's normal turn? Or is it again frenzy?
Kind of good at what he does. But he's deadly. Like Sabretooth is a very deadly character, and so you're gonna have to require your entire team to take him out. all of our villains have a bunch of unique abilities and also a unique flair to them.
These guys seem to pop back up or just reappear. Oof.
Sabretooth, the idea behind Sabretooth.
Again, here we don't have card plays. Right. So we are. Wait, what?
Sabretooth is that.
But we don't have moves either. But we do have heroism. So we can basically do actions. As we build the heroism, that is basically like additional action points for the turn. And we are using that heroism to use this environment. So we did 3 card plays, we did 1 move, and then 2 things with heroism.
He has an ability called Frenzy, and that means that every time you take an action, he may respond, right? So you have to be really careful, you have to be very efficient in.
I do wonder, is it only these environment things that you can do with that you can do with the heroism? It seems like that, so you basically can't just select an enemy and hit. You have to use your heroism to you just see, did he happen to hover over any of the enemies with the cursor?
Sabretooth responds very quickly.
So it seemed that he went to select this one. I was just wondering that if he would hover over a Sabretooth or one of these Hydra soldiers, that could you actually use heroism to do like kind of like basic attack or heroic attack?
Fight back.
So you have to like anticipate when he goes on that frenzy, kind of.
Yes, like
yeah. So obviously the environment is big.
But yeah, I mean, I love Sabretooth.
We were dazed.
Here we're introducing Wolverine for the first time. This is.
This is very strange for me. Like, are we? Well, actually, it's not strange. I think it's pretty obvious. We are still on that same turn where we used all our cards, and we are still just using all the heroism that we built up.
Where you meet him. This is pretty far into the game, probably. I mean, actually, this game's very long, so not.
Okay. So while I was watching, I didn't quite catch what he said. Jake said the game is very long. I thought he said that the game is actually not that long. I was like, wait, what?
Pretty far into the game, probably. I mean, actually, this game's very long, so not that far. But
this game is very long. What does that mean? Is that like XCOM long, or like XCOM long, which is actually pretty damn long, or is this like Chimera Squad long? Like 20, 30, 40 hours? I guess it depends how many of these fights you do and what kind of optional things you do. Okay, but I guess his point was that we have already been playing a little bit, and then we get Wolverine.
But this is a good 10, 12 hours into the game when you meet Wolverine and you unlock him. So there are characters you unlock.
You unlock him, yeah.
Through play. This is the moment when you sort of meet Wolverine for the first time. And so, again...
Okay, so now we are on basically the second turn. I don't see kind of the number of turns anywhere specifically, but our card plays were resetted, and we haven't used the redraws yet, but I guess there's maybe you discard a card when you use that to draw another one. Okay, so here we see that Sabretooth is a super villain. Bind and stun cannot restrain this enemy for long. This enemy's attacks cannot be resisted. And has frenzy acts after a number of card plays are used. Yeah.
Wolverine, a completely different...
We have Quick Slash that had once again that knockback in it. It is quick, refunds card play if target is KO'd. These kind of things are very important, so that you can chain cards together if you take them out.
So,
or
again,
I guess there's maybe different things. At least with this quick, like if you take them out, you can take multiple enemies out, basically with just using one card
A
play.
completely different play style, completely unique set of abilities.
Can you go into his abilities a little bit more? Like what makes him so unique and different from the other characters?
Yeah, so if you
Card
think
play
about
refunded.
Wolverine, he's very savage. He has the
And here again we have the taunt. Actually, let me see. Does that change things?
Wolverine.
So this guy is targeting the hunter. So let's see. I don't remember how this played out, but when Wolverine uses the next ability, let's see if that guy's target symbol changes into
He has a lot of ability that
Wolverine.
chain to multiple targets. And at the same time,
Okay, now we
he
get
can
Sabretooth,
taunt
so maybe
enemies,
this
and that means
this is also interesting. That's a kind of a, as Sabretooth slams Wolverine there, then Wolverine just kind of resets the position here.
he can draw their fire. When he attacks them, then enemies target Wolverine.
So this is like not a move. It's just a kind of a part of the attack that Wolverine just returns to where he
And that's
was.
great because
Okay. Okay, what does the taunt do? It doesn't, at least it doesn't change the, maybe there's some sort of range in the taunt, but that guy definitely didn't change target to
Wolverine
Wolverine.
has the ability to regenerate health. He's very low on health here. Garth, you doing
That's,
okay, bud?
Let's use a little berserk. I'm gonna get some lifesteal on.
Let me just quickly go back. I want to see, was there... So do we... I guess we only taunt this person.
The ability to attack multiple targets. So
But I guess you might have some different card. You might do an like some sort of AOE, area of an effect, that you would target multiple enemies and then you would draw aggro to that one character.
as you can see, Sabretooth, huge health bar.
Heavy hitter. Definitely
Yes,
heavy hitter.
definitely a heavy hitter. And so that's good. Wolverine has got some lifesteal going
Nice
on.
ragdolls.
Sent that guy to the moon. Yeah, this is the problem with Sabretooth, right? Is that he just doesn't stop. And this matches how he is in the comics as well. Like, Sabretooth doesn't stop, you know?
Yep.
So you have to always kind of be on your toes here.
Okay, so here we have one last card play, and we are using this ability. Even that is in this case only used on one enemy, but it shows 17 here. So let's see. Okay. We also see here that because we used that ability, we did taunt Sabretooth as well, so Sabretooth can only target the taunting unit, in this case Wolverine.
Right.
So let me see, it was showing 17 there. How much damage does it do?
Like,
We got him.
we got him. Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm actually going to
You can position yourself, use the environment.
Okay. Right.
One thing that's worth pointing out is that as you move, you can continue to move until you use an ability, right? And so you can position
30. But was that bonus because you jumped from this?
yourself just perfectly.
Let
until
me,
you
that,
move
that's
until you use it.
that was
One thing
actually...
that's worth pointing out is that
Oh, it shows 30 here. So, oh right, we actually ended up, we used this environment instead of playing the card. We were about to play the card, but he changed his mind. So he uses this with 1 heroism, and it does exactly this amount of damage.
as you move, you can continue to move until you use an ability, right? And so you can position yourself just perfectly until you use an ability.
So basically, in this case, that did more damage than this would do.
You continue to move around the map.
And you know, the movement balance is one of my favorite parts.
Okay, let's see how much damage does this do. Does it actually do 4 times 17?
But it's this wonderful balance of you can choose to play more methodically and find that single precise movement position to
Yes,
take
it does.
advantage of enemies,
Yes,
but
it does.
it's not
Okay,
every single
so the number you see on the cards, it is exactly the amount of damage
every
you
single
do,
action.
at least in that case. Okay, and then we saw the cutscene with I think this is then Lilith. Lilith was Lilith the demon lady. Okay, but yeah, we see her taking Sabretooth.
Wearing casual clothes.
Okay, so then
Outfits, we actually have a lot of outfits.
so then we have the
And look
Abbey.
at this room. It looks
We can decorate
like
it.
some decorating could be done. Can you do decorating?
Junk. Yeah, you gotta update the room, and yeah, there's ways to update not
Okay, and you can talk, and you can pet the dog.
Here's the character, the room
Charlie.
below. Here's your beloved,
Horse, Charlie.
right, your beloved hellhound Charlie, who loves you so much.
So obviously we have been maybe petting the dog many times, so now it loves us.
Of course, pet the dog, and there's a lot of benefits to that as well.
Common room.
Are we
Join
gonna
a
explore
hangout.
that a little bit more?
We are, and in fact, what's happening right now is the hunter walking onto the common room after combat, and so again, this is really a social experience where after combat, all these heroes are hanging out, and you can choose from different heroes after combat to hang out with, and this is an important.
Okay, here's one thing I can already tell. I really hope that other heroes do stuff, that they don't just wait for you, as I think they will. It looks like they will just stand in one place. So at least Doctor Strange is reading a book, but these other guys are just, well, there is a hangout, sure, but it's only they are just standing there. I would much prefer that the Abbey would be like a lively place.
It is. It's one of.
And also just let me move my camera here just a little bit, so we can see that it is night. It is Thursday. It is drizzling rain and it is waxing moon. So do these things have some effect on things? The fact that it's raining and there's a waxing moon outside, that it is Thursday. Do these things have some effects?
One of my favorite parts of the game. Not only do you have fun in combat, you come back and you have a very, very important choice to make, which is a whole other part of the Marvel fans.
Also, I see that there's a selection that you can select heroes from the menu there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of benefit to this, right? There's not just a narrative
We have
benefit.
Nico
Commiserate over their terrible parents. Oh, my dad's
watching a movie, so we are hanging out with Nico.
But yeah, then in addition to hanging out with heroes, you obviously get to have a deeper.
We are talking with the caretaker. We saw these selections in the gameplay as well. So is there like a good choice? Like, is this like playing the good guy or the bad guy?
Different characters around the
I don't know.
We're kind of alluding here, like your dialogue choices can affect.
Or is it that you can only select that option when the moon is out? I don't know.
You mentioned the light-dark balance.
Light. Okay, so it is light and dark.
Personality is incredibly compelling, and you'll be able to do that in spades in the Abbey.
Okay, so
what are we doing
you
here, Caroline, you love the dog.
will you
I mean, it looks like it.
Dog can walk with you. Dog can walk.
yeah? So it's basically you play
Okay, where are we going?
So
you play your Paragon playthrough, and then you do another one and
so the Abbey grounds are very
do your
extensive,
evil Sith
and
Lord
you can explore,
playthrough.
and you should. And this is a lot of really interesting.
It's Wednesday, it is
stuff that
clear
players
sky,
can
it is
come out
new
here,
moon.
Explore the grounds.
We picked up a
uncover
King
lot more
Oyster
narrative, a lot more
regent,
gameplay.
so there's some sort of
and
crafting.
again, we wanted this to feel like a living space, and so it's not just the interior of the Abbey; it's the exterior grounds as well. That, you know,
I really hope it is a living space with those
It's not enough to just have a series
with those heroes doing something else than just standing
of
around.
menus in between missions, or a base that doesn't have a lot of content and substance to it. And the grounds really act as that, since they're overloaded with secrets and mysteries and deep lore to learn more, even in other corners of Marvel that you may be surprised about, the background of the Hunter and Caretaker and other characters.
right. And there's so much more that we would love to show
Let's
you.
keep going. Can we keep going?
And we will. There's so much more to show you,
Soon.
and we will very soon.
All right.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys.
Okay, so they are saying that there's a whole lot more to come. Let me actually. I was talking or thinking about something else. That did they tease us with something new here? I don't think they actually teased us with whatever next reveal will be. So in the extended gameplay that I first did the reaction to, at the end of that they said that this would be coming this week, so on September 9th. kind of not much new information, well, actually quite a lot of new information, but not so much anything anything too that we didn't already get from the gameplay as we were analyzing that. So basically this was just clarifying some of the things that we already figured out.
Hey guys, I would be lying if I would say I'm not excited about this very iconic duo, this battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine.
Alpha game footage captured on PC.
One of the cinematics, we have hours of cinematics in the game.
And also here, kind of maybe this is because we are playing with Wolverine for the first time. We only have a couple of abilities. Maybe that was just luck of the draw, but we just have these chain swipes and berserk.
12 Marvel heroes plus the Hunter. We also have a large cast of villains for the player to fight against.
I do like that Jake just said there, that they do have a large selection of villains. So obviously very nice to see Sabretooth. So very nice that they will give us the different Marvel villains to fight against, and hopefully there will be some surprises as well, so that you will be fighting against someone that you don't necessarily expect to be on the enemy side in a way. That would be cool. And because they are doing this very kind of you have the Midnight Suns, but you are bringing in Captain America, Iron Man, and such, that are kind of they have the whole they have the whole Marvel universe to play with. So yeah, this can be really cool.
And so you're gonna have to require your entire team to take him out. All of our villains have a bunch of unique abilities.
One thing that this doesn't really show, obviously this is a special encounter. So this is the introduction to the Wolverine, introduction to Sabretooth. So they have probably handcrafted this map for this fight. That it always happens here on this map. Maybe not, maybe the map is random. But I'm not that convinced about the kind of tactics side yet. Of course, these fights are probably like the early fights, kind of simple fights. Kind of is there that brain teasing, brain-wrenching puzzle element that, for example, the XCOM and XCOM 1 has, and Chimera Squad had. Because in this one, it seems relatively straightforward. Of course, it's kind of maybe figuring out that, okay, here I have this card, I can use a knockback, so will I knock this character here, or will I knock that character there, or will I knock that character towards the environment so that it explodes? So those are the tactical choices. Of course, the taunt that, for example, Wolverine has, that has a kind of tactical elements in it. But I'm looking forward to seeing more. But up to this point, I'm most excited about this game because it's Marvel. So that we get to play with these all cool characters. I'm actually, for this game, I think the card play mechanic that might actually work really well, because it does create variety into the fighting instead of just having those set abilities with the heroes. So it kind of makes sense for me for this game. But then kind of as said, the randomness comes from the cards. How tactical will it be? I really liked how Chimera Squad took the XCOM puzzle, or the modern XCOM, if you will, the puzzle element to the very top. You had these handcrafted encounters that you really had to think who you take out, how you use this limited amount of abilities to do that. But here it's more like how do I use these cards I got into my hand for this fight? How do I use these cards to take out as many of the enemies as possible this turn, maybe all of them? So it's it's a different kind of puzzle element, but I hope we see more. I hope we see kind of more of a tougher fights, if you will, and maybe some creative use of the cards, because what we have seen so far, it's been kinda straightforward, you know, with abilities. It's like okay, here we slash, here we combo with Doctor Strange, here we use heroism to hit this one. So again, it looks like there's in all of these we have these elements that are highlighted: explosive barrels, those kind of cards that you can push, pile of something to jump from to do an extra attack with heroism. So how are these maps randomly generated? Probably not. Maybe you have like a selection of these maps. It looks like we are fighting in these yards and streets and such. So maybe there's just a selection of maps, just like in XCOM. That there's kind of a good amount of them, but maybe kind of well, actually, there's one thing kind of that. Let's say we get on this same map on a different fight. Will we have these same environment pieces here every time, or are they different? Will they change place? And for example, here we see 5 different things that we could build up heroism to and then use them. Because you could throw these, we saw that in the Wolverine fights, you could use this platform to jump on an enemy, maybe this one as well. So kind of that, I do like that. That's a additional tactical element that you can build the heroism. You can build the heroism and use it not just on the cards, but also on those abilities. I really like that. Okay, but
so you build up heroism and you use that to then use the.
I think that's it. I think that's it. This was already. Oh wow, this was hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I can't think of anything else right now, and I will do more of these. Yeah, good job, Garth.
No, but we need the hypeness, of course. Like.
But yeah, I will do more of these again. Leave comments if you watch this far. If you watch the whole hour of 10 minutes of this. Leave a comment down below if you want to see more of these. I think I will do more of these. You guys like the first one, and I like watching these. I like looking at this. Of course, it depends on a bit kind of how much information we get before the game is released on March 2022. But yeah, I look forward into getting more details of the combat system, and then kind of how the game plays out, kind of tactically. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next reaction and analysis video, which might be Marvel's Midnight Suns, might be something else, or in any of the other videos I am posting. So if you watched up until now and you are new to my channel, of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you get notified when I post new videos. And yeah, check the playlists for all my XCOM playthroughs, all the other playthroughs I've been doing in the past 10 and 10 some years. But yeah, I will see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye bye.